Hello and welcome to my art studio. I'm Katie and I'm really excited to invite you to a brand new series of videos where I'm going to be taking you through a process to take all your ideas and put them into a tangible piece of artwork that you love and feel proud of. Because I know if you were like me many years ago, you might have so many ideas, lots of inspiration and lots of creative ideas, but you don't yet know how to put that into a painting or even a series or collection of paintings in your own style. If you were like me, I used to have so many ideas and I'd get really inspired, but then when it came to painting, I'd often end up feeling discouraged about my artwork or just having no confidence, having a lot of self-doubt, and all those things can really take away from the joy of painting, which is the whole point. We paint because we love it, right? So we really want to plug in that joy and plug out the self-doubt. And that's exactly what this video series is all about. So the first step, if you'd like to join me, is by downloading this. So this is a guide I've created. This is an ebook that you can download and it's just going to give you lots of ideas, inspiration about the artistic process, and it breaks that down beautifully. Now in the second page you'll find this link here. When you click that, you get to download the concept to canvas worksheet, and the idea is in the name. It literally takes your concept, the idea that you have for a piece of artwork, and it takes you through a whole process, which is what this video series is going to do, to creating that and taking that and putting it into a piece of artwork that you love, that you feel proud of, and that you felt confident painting. So the first step is to check in the description box. I've popped the link there. Make sure you download this because we are going to be using this throughout the whole video series. Also, as a note, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. When you hit the bell, what that does, it gets you notified when the new video is live and when it's been uploaded. So make sure to click that because sometimes the YouTube algorithm doesn't always let you know. Which I know is not helpful, is it, when we're trying to do this? So I'm really excited. Let's dive in to first setting a vision and an intention for our piece of artwork. Okay, so this is the painter's guide that will come through to your email, and this is just full of tips and inspiration. But if you open the first page, when you get this ebook download, you'll see a link here. This is the concept to canvas worksheet, and that will link to this worksheet that I'm going to be working with you. Now, this is a process that I do with every single painting, and this is how you guarantee creating a painting that you love. We don't want to leave all these decisions up to chance in the moment, but when we take the time initially and plan our painting, it can really give us a sense of control, and it's way more likely that we end up painting a piece of art that we really truly love. And it's important to remember that as we move through these worksheets and these exercises, it's not creating a blueprint that you have to exactly stick to with your painting. All this is doing is helping you to really think through these decisions that you have to make as an artist. And it's totally fine to stray from these. This is what this process is all about. So let's jump right in. I find it easier to print this off, but you can just write these things down in your sketchbook too. So if you want to dedicate a sketchbook page and you just want to jot some notes down, that's also absolutely fine. And that's, again, something else that I do as well. So, okay, so the first part is really setting your vision and intention for the painting. Because sometimes we can think, okay, well, I've done my painting and, oh, it looks calming, and oh, it looks energetic. But actually we can choose those things before we even begin, and kind of set in motion what we really want our style to be as an artist and what we want our paintings to look like. So I'm going to go through and do this for the painting I'm going to be working on. You can either follow along with me and kind of roughly follow my guidelines and we can create a similar painting, and at the end of this challenge we are going to be doing a physical painting using these notes. So if you want to, you can follow along with me, or you can do this with your own ideas, with your own painting, something completely unique. Whatever you feel confident doing, or you can do both. You can do it with me first and then work through with your own painting, that's fine. So first of all, we're going to define our vision. So what do you want to express through your painting? Write down any emotions, messages or story that you'd like to convey. Right now I'm thinking seascape. So how do I want my seascape to feel? What kind of emotions do I want to A story. So actually, something I love about like the ocean and the sea, when I'm there, I feel like the waves are constantly going, they're constantly refreshing. It's always running in the background. Even when we're asleep at night, those waves are still coming in. And I feel like, you know, there's so many stories that the sand and the ocean builds up during the day. Like, you know, you have a family building sandcastles and then overnight the sea washes it away, and there's beauty in that. So I want to kind of convey the story of renewal. So whether that's like a healing feeling of not memories being erased, but like pain being erased, that sort of thing. And just kind of like, I suppose, a resilience. I don't know how to spell resilience. So yeah, it doesn't have to be like a full paragraph. It could just be notes, something like that. So my story, my emotions, messages is renewal, resilience. Those are the kind of words that I'm going to be keeping in mind. Prompts to get you started. How would you like the viewer to feel looking at the painting? Again, so it's kind of similar, but I suppose, how do I want them to feel? Like that sea spray or the sea air like flowing through their hair, and they feel renewed. So yeah, I suppose renewed. So it's a very similar theme. Renewed and kind of like a sense of inner strength. Oh, inner strength. What kind of emotion would you like to capture? Ooh. What kind of emotions? Maybe like a wistful kind of feeling, wistfulness. Perhaps like looking at the past and feeling that connection to the past, but being ready to move forward. That's kind of the feeling I want. What atmosphere or mood do you want to create? And also, don't worry, if you don't have answers for all these, that is totally fine. You don't have to force yourself. But if this feels a little bit uncomfortable, then it's kind of good. Like, I want you to feel challenged. I want us to connect all these pieces together. So yeah, what atmosphere? I want it to feel quite like calming. Calming, and I want it to feel immersive, that it kind of like brings you in and sucks you in. What visual elements do you envision as central to your painting? So yeah, I'm going to do a seascape, but actually I think the clouds, like really turbulent clouds, and perhaps a wave. But you could add like seagulls or rocks, whatever you feel like. Okay, so that's the first part done. How easy was that? And it's given us I feel like already I have a really clear vision, and it's really helped me like nail down the kind of feelings I want to express. So the next part is inspiration sources. So this is where we've kind of worked with the words and the language, but we know as artists, we might not always feel connected truly with words. We are very visual people. And so this is where we start to get those references, inspirations that kind of link back to those emotions and stories that we've said. So this can be color palettes you like, it can be reference photos, it can be other artists' paintings, it could be anything. There really is like no rules for this section. So if you'd rather do it in like a physical way and cut and stick and all that stuff, that's fine. I actually prefer to do this part digitally because most of my inspiration comes from screenshots and images online. So I'm going to head into Canva and carry on this page in there. Okay, so I've opened it up in Canva. I love this for designing things. So I'm just going to pop in the title, Ocean Painting Inspo. And I've already kind of gone a little bit mad and collated a ton of photographs that have kind of inspired me, or I've spotted that I'm like, oh yeah, I really love these things. Now, I really love these painting marks. I just think they're so beautiful, impressionistic with that abstract edge. So I'm going to pop these down in my notes as the inspiration behind the kind of painting style that I'd like to do. And we can even add text to add like little notes as like painting style. And this is why I love to do this in Canva, because it's so fast. And so yeah, I love that painting style, and I'm kind of just going to go through all the kind of pictures that I gathered together and look through. Again, this was another one of the style. So I'm just going to, it's almost like a bit like a mood board or a scrapbook. And so, of course, we're not going to copy these directly, but I just think it's really nice to have these as ideas so that I can kind of look at all this when I'm doing my painting, and it will help me kind of get that feeling that I really want. And these are some of the reference photos that I found. So again, we could have reference photos. So this could just be kind of a collation of photographs that you like, that you think, oh, I think that would make a great painting. And I have to say that all these are copyright free. I've actually created these images in Midjourney, which is an AI program. Now, no matter how you feel about AI, I think it can be a great tool to use for reference photos. I don't live anywhere near the sea. And the sea that I do live near doesn't look as beautiful as this. So I think it's great to get reference photos, especially for those people that are not able to get out and about very easily. I think it's a really great tool. I know it has its, you know, downsides, and that's fine, but like any tool, it's how you use it. So those are some of the reference photos that I captured that I think are probably the best ones for this sort of painting. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put down, because obviously I like this style, but also we've got to think about color. So this painting, I love the color. So I might even create like another one for like color palette ideas and technique. This painting, I really loved the muted. It was so muted, but I also really loved this one with all the beautiful magentas and greens and things like that. So I'm just gonna kind of pop down all these different ideas. I loved the color palette of this painting too. It had these lovely cream rocks, but along with it was this real like pop and zing of this light blue here, and with the dark blues, very contrasted with the rocks. So I really liked that. And I thought, obviously I'm not going to be painting rocks because my reference photos don't have any rocks in, but I did think I could kind of do the similar effect with the clouds maybe. Yeah, I think that's probably it for me. And then you can even like pop down words, so like we did with the first page, renewal, resilience, anything that inspires you. It could just be literal brushstrokes, or it could be a note of the tools that you want to use. Anything like that can really nail down where you kind of want to go with your painting. So thank you so much for joining along with me in day one, setting our vision, setting our intention. Day two, we're going to be looking at sketching out some of those maybe difficult things that we don't have a lot of confidence in, and also creating our composition for our painting and just having a little play, a little experiment with some of the compositions we could use. Now, don't forget to hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you get notified for the next video, and I'll see you there.